Okay. You know, was anything stiff, tight? Uh, have you been doing a lot of yoga? Have you not? Since we didn't have it last week. Again, no judgment. I didn't do it either. But okay, so slowly take that next breath in through the nose and try to exhale it the same way. So now we're inhaling and exhaling through the nose, a little slower than you might normally breathe. And then we want to start to feel that breath coming into the upper body and expanding it outward, right? So we just normally breathe right about here. We want to start to allow that breath to come in more, fill up the body, get down to the belly, and we want it to feel natural. We don't want to feel like we're forcing that to happen. And then, if you'd like to get all of that going, rhythmic breathing, inhale, exhale through the nose, expanding and contracting through the body, just notice if it feels like you're breathing evenly. So we want to be inhaling and exhaling about the same length. So how I check myself sometimes is I just count just whatever my normal count would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm not that fast, but and then also exhaling, making sure it's the same, because we tend to exhale a little bit faster when we're not thinking about it. So just try to match that up. And we'll do a couple more breaths here, just lying comfortably wherever you are. And then staying focused on that breath as much as we can. Coming into bent knees position, so we're just going to bring the heels into alignment with the hips. Lift those hips up, move them away from the shoulders a little bit. So knees, heels, and the sitting bones right in the center of the glutes, those are all in the same line. We're going to keep them there. We want to also feel like we lengthen our neck, move those shoulders apart from each other. We kind of broaden across the chest here. And then we're just going to bring our arms alongside us, palms down. And still, again, feeling that breath in the belly, expansion. You can do a little light contraction if you want to start to wake up those abs a little bit. You can just let it be natural. But if you do feel tension anywhere else in the body, we're trying to let go of that. So we kind of get into this pose, but then we don't want to be rigid and just forcing ourselves to stay here. We want to be somewhat relaxed. Relax your face, jaw, hands, and anything that you might hold tension in. And also try to clear your mind out for just the next hour. You don't really need to think about much. I think that when we do let those thoughts come in, we kind of lose focus on what we're doing with the body. So as much as you can, think of your poses, think of your breathing, any little things you can work on in those poses, and just, again, not letting anything clutter up the mind right now. Feel free to work at your own pace if you don't keep pace with my breathing, my cueing. And you can always pause anytime that you need to, modify anything you need to. All right, we're gonna do one more full breath here, just with the knees bent, no movement yet. And then our next breath in, arms are just gonna come up off the mat and just stretch all the way overhead. See how far back those arms can go. As soon as you need to exhale, you're gonna bring the arms right back down to your mat. And again, reach up, excuse me, and over the head. And exhale back to the mat. So we're going to do a few of these, and we want to start feeling more lengthening through the arm, the hands, fingers, but also as the arms are going up, inhaling, feel this coming down around the shoulders, the sides of the body, across the chest, the upper back, because it's all connected. So as the arms loosen up and the shoulders loosen up, you may be able to feel those stretches a little bit further in other parts of the body. All right, so we're going to add some lower body movement. Next inhale, bring the arms over the head. And then exhale, bring the right knee in. I saw something weird on my screen. I couldn't see what it was till I got upright. And right foot goes down. As soon as you need to take that breath in, reach overhead again. And then exhale, left knee in. So ideally, we're not letting any other body parts come off the mat. Like if you're pulling your head and shoulders up toward the knee, I want you to keep the head and shoulders on the mat and pull the knee towards you, even if you feel like you can't get it in as much. So right and left, maybe a couple more times each. We're all working at a little bit different pace here. All right. So whenever you get to your right leg, we're going to stay there. So pull the knee in, slide the hands down either right to the front of the shin bone, or we can grab behind the leg. We just want to keep hands off the knee joint and just give that leg a little bit more time. So you should feel some releasing here, hamstrings going up into the glutes. Again, returning to that yoga breath as often as you can. All right, we're going to take that right foot up. You don't have to straighten the knee yet if you're not ready for that. Flexing and then pointing. Make those first few really slow and really extreme and notice how that feels. And then we're just going to gradually make it a little faster. Getting more range of motion, and then maybe adding a circle, ankle circles into that. And we'll just go both ways. So now that we've worked the foot and ankle, just a little stretch. Bend the knee, extend, bend the knee, extend, and then bend it, let the foot relax, and work on your hip a little bit. Loosen it up. Move that knee around. See how that feels up in the hip joint. Do a couple more. All right, good. Well, that hip's feeling pretty good. Again, you kind of go in and out. We'll just do a nice little stretch here, thread the needle. So we start with the foot on the knee, pressing the knee out. Even if you know you're going to bring your left foot up off the mat, just hold it here for a moment, gently pressing away with the right hand. So now if you want to go into that option of bringing the left foot up, now if you can't quite get your hands around it, remember you could just use like a little short strap here, loop it around, so you can pull the leg in, but then we want to let the rest of the body go back onto the mat. But you can also keep the left foot down all the time. You don't have to bring it up. All right, 1 or 2 more breaths here. Now we're going to bring that left foot back down. Keep the right foot on the left knee. Take your left hand, go to the outside of the right knee, and now gently pull that knee towards you. And we're not going to let the hip come up, so the hip stays down, and we pull. And just notice how that feels a little bit different up in that right hip. All right, 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then you can take the left hand off that knee, extend that leg up one more time, and replace the right foot. Get everything lined up in your bent knees pose again. And whenever you're ready to move on, arms over the head, inhale. Exhale, now the left knee in. So the same thing, you want to pull the knee in, keep everything else on the mat, and just give that leg some time, right? So we're not stretching the leg so much as we are trying to get, it's the back of the leg as it goes up into the hip. So anywhere you want to hold on to that leg is fine. Again, just don't pull right on the knee. All right. Give it enough time so it does feel like you've made a little progress. You've gotten it to stretch a little bit more. And then that left foot goes up and we're going to flex and point. And then circle that ankle. We want to go quite a few times one way before we go the opposite. All right. Again, make sure that everything feels like it's warmed up, it's loosened up. A little extension, bend, extend the leg, push the heel away. Bend the knee, push the heel away. Bend the knee, now keep the foot relaxed. Move that left knee around. Make sure you go, again, quite a few repetitions each way. All right. So when you feel like that that hip joint is feeling looser, and we're going to place the left foot on the right knee. And again, we're going to start with the left hand pressing that knee out. Again, 3 to 4 breaths here, keeping the right foot down. And then you can go ahead and bring that right foot off the mat. Same thing, kind of going into that deeper thread the needle stretch, if that works for you. And if not, feel free to keep the foot down and just gently, always, right? When we're using outside or external force, which is our hand, we want to not be pushing it so hard that it's going beyond where you would be able to go, right? So keep it there. Again, if that right foot is up, now we're going to bring the right foot down. We're going to keep that left knee up, left foot on the ankle. Take your right hand all the way to the outside of your left knee, and now gently pull the knee towards you, toward the midline, but keep the left hip down. And just, again, noticing that just hits at a little bit different area up in the hip. All right, then we're going to go ahead and release that knee. Take the foot off, come back to your bent knees, arms right next to you. Take a breath in, arms overhead. This time, exhale. We're going to go ahead and bring both knees into our chest. And notice how that makes the back flatten both lengthwise and across the lower back, right? Even taking the knees out a little wider, you might feel that even more. And just, if you want to, you can rock a little bit, side to side. You can even do like a little circular motion with the lower back and the knees, and that kind of presses the whole back around. We'll do that a couple times. All right. Now, from here, whenever you're ready, you can bring yourself up. You can rock it on up or roll over to your side. And come on. And we're going to meet in hands and knees. We want to pull the Shoulders away from the ears as we place our hands under the shoulders. So those hands are spread out, or rather the fingers are spread out, right? Arms are long, but shoulders are, elbows are not locked. So relax a little bit. And then notice what happens when I pull my shoulders back and the crown of my head forward. Feels like I just got an inch longer in my neck. All right, so knees right into the hips, and just focus on that breathing again. Once you've reestablished the breath, when you are ready, you can start to lift the chest as you inhale into cow pose, lifting the tailbone also, and then as you exhale, arching the back up, dropping the head. Inhale, lengthening and lifting, and exhale, arching up. We're just going to continue that. Do a few. We want to take as much time as we need to feel like that spine is getting longer and we're getting more arch in it. So really warming up everything that's connecting back there. It's not just the bone, not just the bones of the spine, right? Couple more. And then when you come back to a straight back, I want you to just kind of waggle your hips side to side. You can push it over to one side and hold it, push it to the other side. Notice how you're feeling this and all that's on the outside of that hip. All right, and then you can do the same thing with your shoulders, kind of stretch, push your upper body over more, kind of, so your heart is over that right hand and then the left. Now remember, if you have a hard time being on the hands and knees for any length of time, you can rest at any point if this is taking too much toll on those wrists. You can also, roll a blanket up and put it under them. That helps sometimes, or a little towel. Okay, and then I'm just going to do more like a circular motion with my whole body, keeping my hands and knees here. I'm just going to kind of circle it around to the right, if that makes sense, or left, whichever way you want to go. Keeping those 4 points of contact on the mat, and again, 5, 6, 8, whatever you want to do, just kind of rolling and just see if it feels the same on both or different. Just activating this a little bit more than we normally do, all right? And then just come back to hands and knees. We're going to inhale to cow, and then exhale to child's pose. So hips come back, or hips drop back, arms being wherever. Try to really feel like if I left the room and you just kind of fell asleep, you would be able to be comfortable in that resting pose, whatever it is. True child's pose is knees together. For a lot of us, we need more room for our bodies to come forward, so that knees open, or putting something behind the hips to help them be supported, all of that kind of stuff. And you learn what's going to make you feel the most comfortable. So don't hesitate. Even if we're transitioning out of this soon, you don't want to just kind of be like waiting to get out of it. You want to be comfortable here. Start to walk those hands forward a bit. Now pull the hips back again. Now take both hands over to the right. So right hand goes to the right edge. Left hand goes beyond. Now you might need to pull them back just a little bit to get those hips back. But we're really increasing that stretch on the left side. And then we're going to come back to the middle, go to the other side. So left hand, right hand, and then I have to scoot my hips back. So the hands are going to come back just a little bit. But I'm going to try to keep that right arm as far forward as I can. And then back to the middle, both arms extended. Bring the hands in a little bit. Bring the toes under. Come on up to downward facing dog. A little shorter dog to start with. We want to make sure that we don't force our heels down. We can pedal the feet a little bit. Again, feel how that feels, one foot and then the other. Give it a little time. Hold it there. All right. You're warming up a little bit. As you push one heel down, I want you to put more weight into the ball of that other foot and almost bring your shin bone parallel to the ground. Feel those toes spreading apart as the weight goes into each toe. All right, other side, push that heel down. Lift the other heel. Make sure you're not rolling into the big toe or out to the little toe. We want to make sure that we keep it as evenly spread as possible. Probably can't see as much, but again, that other heel is really high off the mat. Move the head around gently. And then ease both heels toward the mat. Look forward. We're going to walk right into our forward bend, so however you can get there. And we'll go to get into our flow in a moment. I haven't forgotten. But just round over for a minute. See how that feels, how the hamstrings feel. Shift the weight a little bit. And then tighten the belly. Let the knees bend a little bit and roll it up. So once you're upright, I'm going to bring the hands over the head, hands to your heart. Now, I want you to think of a couple things today. Really focusing on, we did a little bit of extra hamstring work, just a little bit. So some of the poses that we're going to do today are going to really focus on the hamstrings. So I want you to think of that as we're getting into our forward bends and things like that, so that we can keep working those hamstrings a little bit more till we get into those challenging poses later on. All right, here we are. Mountain pose. Whatever that mountain pose is for you, shoulders back and down, broadening across our chest. Lift through the crown of the head, soften the arms, but keep some energy in them. All right, take a deep breath in and out, all the way to the belly still. Next inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart, forward bend. Hands to the floor. Let the head drop. Inhale, lift halfway. Feel free to use blocks or the legs, and make sure that you don't stay rounded over. If you come to that flat back, lift your heart as well. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, roll it up. Arms come out and up, hands to the heart. Back to mountain pose. And again, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway up. Tighten that belly. Exhale, forward bend. Again, really thinking how those hamstrings are feeling. And inhale, back up. Exhale, mountain pose. So remember, you can roll down and up if that's better for your back, always. Or with the extended back, or mixing it up however you need to. Pick the arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. I'm going to lead with my heart and open those arms as I dive into it now. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Now bring those hands to the mat and slowly make your way into your plank or your modified plank, whichever one you want to choose today. Inhale again, lift your heart. Exhale, lower. Control it if you can. Forehead comes down. Now inhale, cobra. Think of lifting from between the shoulder blades. Exhale, back to child's pose. Two to three breaths when you get there. And then coming back to downward dog. And then walking, hopping, stepping forward to a forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. And Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, back to mountain pose. All right, so we're going to go through that a couple more times. And what I want you to really think about, again, is transitioning. When we start getting into some warrior poses, so this might be a little bit more intensity than we do sometimes. Feel free to get down on the hands and knees, transition that way if it works better for you. I will confess I was feeling cold, and that's why I'm making us work just a little bit harder right now. So again, modify anything that you need to. Here we go, back to mountain pose, deep breath in and out. When you're ready, arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Really focus again on that straight back. It should be straight every time. Belly is tight every time. Shoulders pulling down and back every time. See if you can bring those arms up and remain here without any collapsing or any feeling anything different in the back or the legs. Inhale, extend the back. Exhale, forward bend. Step back to plank. Inhaling as we come into that plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Back to downward facing dog. Walk back to the front of your mat, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale to mountain pose. Oh. Okay. I noticed my volume was really low. I hope you can hear me. I didn't want to shout. Let me know if that makes a difference at the end of class. Moving on from here into our warrior poses. Arms up, inhale. Forward bend, exhale, dive. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Now, bring those hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Go through this one more time. If you're ready to intensify it, you can come forward and only halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Again, or staying with the other flow. Through child's pose or right into downward dog. Look forward, think about where you want to bring that right foot, bring it through, bring your left knee down, find a kneeling lunge. Feel free to have blocks right here to help you. We want to start moving those hips forward, lifting our heart. We want to really start to feel that stretch in front of your left hip. Bring the hand to the right leg. If you're a little bit wobbly, tighten up more here in the middle. Bring those arms up, shoulders down. If bringing the arms up is throwing you off, you want to keep them here, or you want to keep them just kind of touching those blocks. Just work on the stretch part of it. All right, hands back to the mat. Get back to downward dog. Now remember, we're going to be transitioning like that a lot, so feel free to go to hands and knees at some point if you need to. Left foot comes forward, right knee is going to come down. Again, however you can get there. Try to keep, even though we're pushing that left hip forward, the left, kind of the pelvis, we still want our left hip in alignment with our right hip. If you can see the difference on that. And then we kind of push the whole pelvis forward, feeling a stretch in front of our right hip. Take the arms wherever you can balance. And then we bring the hands back down, step back to downward facing dog. And then come back to the front of your mat. Come back to your forward bend. We're doing this for a reason. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale all the way back up. back to mountain pose. So now we've done right and left lunges, but we're gonna do just right side from the flow, and then we'll do the left one, we turn the other way, or at least I have to turn the other way. So come to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Step back to plank. Go through that flow at your own pace, whichever one you prefer. We're all meet in downward facing dog. All right, step that right foot forward. Just kind of right where the right hand was. Bring that left foot in and make your way up to warrior one. So once you're up, if you're not quite where you want to be, I want you to pull that right hip back, push the left hip forward. Make sure both legs, that back leg can be straight, completely on, foot completely in contact on the mat, left foot pointing straight ahead. Keep that right knee over the ankle or the arch. Don't let it go out over the toes. Arms up, shoulders down, lifting that heart. Cactus arms, we're going to go to elbows lining up with the shoulders. Energize those hands and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And think of tilting your heart up a little bit. Nice long neck. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, open to warrior two. Now line that front heel and back arch. Turn the whole body to the left side of your mat. Arms at shoulder height. Extend the fingertips. Look over that right hand. Side angle pose. Use the leg or grab a block. Start with that left arm just extending straight up. Now, option to extend that arm over the left ear. If you do this, don't curve the arm. Don't rest it on your ear. It's an extension of the left leg, then same angle. And back to warrior two. Just bring the body upright, arms at shoulder height. Reverse warrior. Bring that right arm up and back and just support yourself with the back hand on the left leg anywhere. Back to warrior two. So we're going to go into our side angle pose again. And we're just going to now try something. We're going to bring this left arm around behind us, reaching for our right hip crease. So even if it's just resting on your back or your back side here, I want you to try to really work on rotating this shoulder back and seeing if that helps you stay open in your side angle pose. Maybe you can tuck the fingers like right in here into that hip crease. All right, release that left arm straight up. Come back to warrior two and reverse warrior one more time. Try to get 3 to 4 good breaths into each pose. Back to warrior two. Now thinking ahead a little bit. From here, I want you to turn to a high lunge. So you're going to kind of keep the leg where it is. Inhale, move it out just slightly. So the feet aren't super wide, but they're definitely not on the tightrope. And we pull that back heel up. Find your balance here. Arms up. Now tighten up through the middle here. Take a breath in. Inhale. On the exhale, rotate to your right side. So you're going to extend that left arm forward, right arm back. So think of that upper body just spiraling around from front to the right. Find your weight in between both feet. And inhale back to that high lunge. Now just step your left foot in. Find your warrior one. Interlace the hands behind you. Pull the shoulders back. Lift your heart. back up, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands all the way down to the mat and step back to downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the mat and take a little rest in child's pose. Get a quick drink if you need it. All right, I gotta turn around. So we'll be doing the whole same sequence on the left. I'm just turning around so you don't have to see my back the whole time. I'm gonna say something about, oh, you know, we all have differences in our poses on the right versus our poses on the left. So whatever you're thinking right now about the left side, let it go. Just see what happens. Take each pose as it comes and just do it to the best of your ability. For the left side, we're in our child's pose, we're gonna come to our downward dog. And just lift those hips up nice and high. Again, move around a little bit if you need to. Stretch it out. All right, getting ready. Here we go. Left foot's gonna come forward, kind of replacing where that left hand was. Right foot comes in. Slowly make your way up. Find your warrior one. If I'm up here and I'm like, I'm not quite there, I'm just gonna take a second. Line it up. By now you know automatically, right, where you should be. So we've got the front foot straight ahead, back foot angled, hips are square, shoulders are square, arms up, shoulders down. See how that feels? Now, come to those cactus arms again. So as you turn the palms forward, as you pull the elbows down, already squeezing those shoulder blades together. Energize your hands. Think of that little tilt through the upper back. Becomes a baby back bend, right? Keep the hands in line with the elbows. Don't let them flex back, and rotate the whole chest up. All right, arms up, inhale. Exhale, open to warrior two. Now let's go ahead and line that front heel and back arch. Turn your body to the side. Bend the left knee. Look over your left fingertips. Side angle pose, lean into that leg. Right arm up. Option to extend the arm. Turn the palm forward and then bring that whole arm up. Kind of hovering over the right ear in line with the back leg. And try to keep, if you're feeling that chest closing out a bit, open it back up. All right, inhale back to warrior two. Reverse warrior, turn that palm up and float your arm up. Right hand anywhere on the back leg. Back to warrior two. All right, so that second option, coming into our side angle pose, but now bringing this right hand around behind us toward our left hip crease and work on really opening that right side, rotating that right shoulder back. All right, extend the right arm back up. Come back up to warrior two. And we'll come into reverse order, or reverse warrior a second time. All right, back to warrior two. Again, thinking ahead a little bit. From here, turn to your high lunge. So turn, pull that back heel up. Find your balance. If you're near a wall and it helps to use the wall, by all means do. Arms up. Get as tall as you can through the body. Tighten up through the middle. Take a breath in. On the exhale, twist to your left. And inhale back up. Now step that right foot in, find your warrior one. Just plant the foot. Interlace your hands behind you, opposite grip from what you did earlier. Pull the shoulders back, lift your heart. And then bring those arms back up. Inhale, exhale, bringing the hands back to the mat, stepping back to downward facing dog. However you want to get there. 3 breaths. And then we're going to walk our feet back into our hands. I'm going to turn around, coming to a forward bend at the top of our mat. And just hang here for a minute, grab your opposite elbows, and just hang. And then roll it up, take your time coming up, arms out and up, hands to your heart, back to mountain pose. Let's see how we're doing. We're gonna do a balancing pose next, and then we're gonna do one more pose as we go back down. Again, really kind of work those hamstrings. Actually, let's try tree pose, just wherever you are, and if you want to quickly move to your wall, feel free to do that, but choose your side, whichever one you want. Work really on turning that knee out before you lift the foot up. If the knee comes forward again, just lower the foot. So find a spot. Slippery tights always make it difficult. Hands to your heart. Find a focal point. If you fall out of it, just try it again. Remember, there's a lot that needs to work beyond just balance on one foot, right? So tighten up, pull up, open up. And then once you're there, just try to enjoy it and breathe. All right, when you want to come out of it, I want you to come to mountain pose, and maybe you need to move the feet, especially the foot that was just balancing. You need to move it a little bit, do all of that. Start in mountain pose, and then turn that other knee out. Place the foot again where you think you can balance. Start to pull up, tighten up, hands to your heart, find that focal point. All right, finish it up whenever you're ready, and then you bring yourself back to your mat. I encourage you to have your blocks handy. We're going to get into pyramid pose as we make our way down to the mat. This is just to work on those hamstrings a little bit. So have those blocks nearby, starting out in mountain pose. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Now inhale, lift halfway. Get your hands on those blocks. Now if your hands reach the floor, fine, but this is not one that you want to have your hands on your legs for support. Straighten the back. Now all I'm going to do is step my left foot back slightly and turn it out. But I have to keep both my legs straight, so I'm going to pull those hips back. If I go too far, there's no way I can keep the legs straight, right? So square those hips. Now inhale, lengthen that back. So on pyramid pose, we're really working the hamstring of the forward leg, the right leg. So keep pulling your right hip back so you can really intensify that. Now I can stay right here with my flat back, perfectly fine, or if you want to bring your hands lower or to the mat, you can start to bring that upper body right toward that right leg. All right, so it's kind of a forward bend. You can take the hands actually behind that right leg or keep them on the floor. Inhale, lift back up to that halfway point. Option to stay here, or bring your left hand a little bit diagonal from the right foot. Right hand to the right hip crease. Inhale, exhale, just do a little twist here. Just turn your chest towards the right. Nice straight back, little rotation here. And slowly come back. Bring both hands to the floor or the block. Step that left foot in and round into a forward bend again. And this time, again, same thing. Grab the elbows. If you want to stretch out those wrists, go ahead and come into gorilla pose, putting the hands under the balls of the feet. And relax. If you need to come upright in between, you don't like to have your head low this long, that's fine. Roll it on up. Join us when you're ready. So starting in our forward bend again, lift halfway up. Again, using those blocks, nice straight back. Step the right foot back just enough to turn it out, but keeping the hips square. All right, so it's like a very tiny triangle. Inhale, straighten the back. So I want to keep my back as straight and strong as I can, just like I would in my halfway lift. Shoulders back. If you've got those hands on the blocks, make sure you're not rounding the back here. Option to stay here, option to lower my blocks, or option to get that upper body all the way into a forward bend here. So any variation, or you can just keep the back flat. Keep pulling that left hip back. Really feel that stretch behind the left leg. All right, now inhale, lift halfway. All right. Bring the right hand kind of catty corner to the left foot. Inhale, the back's nice and straight. Left hand's going to come around to this left hip. As I exhale, I'm going to twist to my left. Now, I can't open my arm here. My shoulder's not flexible enough, but I'm going to keep my hand on my hip. But if you can open that arm up and it doesn't bother your shoulder, feel free. Okay. Then I'm going to come back around, bring both hands to my blocks, step my right foot in, and then just come into that forward bend. Last time here. All right, let's lift halfway one last time. Exhale, forward bend, step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way down. Forehead to the mat. Bring the arms long as well. Tops of our feet are resting on the mat. Sorry, what time it is? Okay. Still missed the clock. There we go. Okay. Inhale into half locust. So pull the belly in and just lift the forehead and the heart. Reach your fingertips back. So a little arch here again. It's technically a back bend. Breathe while you're up. Take another inhale before you lift. Lower as you exhale down. Now we're going to do that one more time. You can either repeat what we did. You can do the whole pose, which would be bringing the lower body into it. One more option, since we've already warmed this up, is to interlace your fingers, your hands behind your hips, right? You can do this one. So you can make that bind, or you can start with the arms here. Pull the belly in. When you're ready, inhale, lift up. Again, maybe interlace the hands here. Pull that chest up and arms back. Again, however long you want to stay up, you just want to inhale at the top, exhale lower. If you're turning your head, turn your head the other way. All right, now we're just going to bring those hands back under the shoulders. I want you to push yourself back up to your plank. So you can either come up to your modified plank or tuck the toes under, come up to your full plank, hold it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale again. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Last time. And then bring the knees down. And come into child's pose. This is our last time in our child's pose today. Bring the arms in and just rest. All right, and then we're going to slowly come out of that all the way around to the back. So take your time. You can roll to your side, roll to your back. You can come on up and roll it down. I want everybody to start with feet on the mat and knees bent. All right. Next inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, pull the right knee into the chest. Now we're going to keep that right knee in. Stretch your left leg all the way up. All right. Keeping our left hand on the right leg, like kind of in front of the knee, top of the shin. Open that right arm out if you've got room. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to twist and pull that knee across with the left hand. Try to get the right hip over the left hip. So we're going to bring the hip off the mat. But we do want to keep that right shoulder on the mat. You can look wherever you like. All right, come on out of that. As we do, let's go to our thread the needle a second time to see how it feels compared to earlier. The left foot can stay on the mat or off. All right, let's uncross. We're going to bring our feet to the mat again, starting all over again. Take a breath in and out. And then arms up, inhale. Exhale, pull the left knee into the chest. We'll stretch that right leg all the way out. All right, getting ready for that twist, so right hand stays here, open that left arm, take a breath in. On the exhale, twist and pull that knee up and across. All right, as we come onto our back, we're going to bring the left foot to the right knee. Same options, right foot on the mat or off. All right, uncross the legs, bring both feet up. Flex and point both feet a few times. And I like to flex, I curl the toes and spread them apart in addition to all the ankle work. We just kind of want to move our feet every possible direction every day. All right. Now, take the one hand behind each knee, open those legs up and come into happy baby. Whatever variation it might be for you. Maybe it's just keeping the hands behind the knees. Maybe you want to go ahead and grab one of those big toes. Maybe you can grab the outsides of the feet. I mean, this is just really what's comfortable. And enjoy it. Move it a little bit. Roll it around if you like. Extend the legs and bend them a few times. All right. After that, we're going to bring the knees into the chest and just roll that back last time. Getting ready to come into Savasana, but before we do that, let's do a quick little butterfly stretch. So bring your feet together and let the knees drop open. Think about where it's comfortable to have those feet. They don't have to be, right up next to the hip. They can be down a little bit. Take the arms shoulder height or maybe even higher if that's comfortable, and just notice what feels tight here. Use your breathing to help you get there. Don't push your knees down. All right, take a breath in. As you exhale, see if you can just let things relax a little bit. We're going to stay here just a couple more breaths before we get into Savasana, but you can use this position for Savasana if you want to move from lying on the mat to legs extended or anything else that's comfortable. Lay on your side with a blanket, whatever you need, because you really want to give yourself those last few minutes for your body and mind to sort of like incorporate everything that we've been working on today and just kind of put it to rest, let the body start to calm down. So once we get into that comfortable position, our body knows it's time, it's okay to relax for a short bit. So you can start to bring the arms lower than the shoulders if you want to, again, keep the legs here, or you can slowly stretch them out. And trying to get into that relaxed state as quickly as possible. So really focus on the breathing here and keeping that mind open, keeping the body calm and relaxed. And we'll just take some time to rest. All right. Take a deeper breath in and out. Start some little movements first with your fingers and your toes. Start to breathe a little bit more normally. Make the movements a little bigger, hands and feet, circle the hands, circle the feet. Stretch fingers in and out. Take your time getting up. If you want to rest a little bit longer, feel free. If you want to come over to your side, make your way up, you can do that. Say namaste to you. I'm going to turn my camera off and you guys can